Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We've got Storm Gaming's MaxPax in the top left side of the map, playing Protoss as always, and his opponent in the bottom left, not always playing Zerg, but he is lately. Basilisk's Reynor. Obviously, MaxPax is representing Storm Gaming, and he wants to block that expansion. He's had to send a second probe down to build the pylon, because he wanted this probe across the map so very early. And it looks like Reynor will have to take that third hatchery. Always a little annoying, this third hatchery, because Adepts can come in and attack your drones from the high ground on this little Reaper ledge. But it is what it is. Reynor sent his worker out at a good timing, so we should get to the third by maybe 51 seconds, something like that. Normally you want it there at 48 seconds to start the hatchery right on 300 minerals. Why is Reynor's economy so low? Oh, he went 17 drones. Oh, that's different. Going 17 supply before building the hatchery. Wow, okay. I always thought speeding the hatchery up was more of a priority, but I guess a little bit different there for him. Looks like we do have the sound turned on. Sorry, I was just checking that one. And this is going to be exciting because Reynor managed to win 3-2 last week. It was a very close series. It felt like, wasn't it like an all-in or something in Game 5? Oh no, I'm here and I haven't done my research. I should have gone back and checked last week. It was only a week ago. I figured I'd remember it. But yeah, no, they had a really good series. Reynor definitely got in with some nice aggression as that series went on. But I love the build orders on both sides. I feel like, there was just cute build orders. There was a lot of fast lurker play for Reynor as well. And MaxPax, we'll see what he can bring out this time around. MaxPax, it really feels like, is so exceptional in this matchup up to a certain point where he just becomes not as scary as he potentially could be. And it's weird because he's a guy who's so good in the other matchups in the later stages, but when it comes to late game PvZ, it does feel a little bit like he can't quite protect as big of an economy as some of the other guys like Showtime. Showtime, I think, a bit better at securing a 5th base than him. MaxPax is probably still better at finishing in the mid game than Showtime, that's for sure, and still one of the best players in the world. We'll see how it goes. Stargate coming in right now, 225, not a bad timing for that. Notice he delays the warp gate. Now on this map, do we as Protoss want to expand to the left? Because you can full wall, or even just leave the standard wall off, start mining these minerals and go take a third. But if you want to do that, I feel like you want to send a probe over there pretty soon, because it takes a while to open these patches up. It's not something that just happens overnight. Now double chrono in the Adepts means we've got some fierce pressure incoming. Reynor going up to 8 Zerglings. He's got his third hatchery started just to the left of our screen. And that Adept here going to the high ground. But he's got the Overlord there. This is something Zerg players have got really good about, leaving this Overlord on the high ground now. You don't have the Overlord there. He can just run up and you won't even be able to attack him with the Queen because you can't see him. Or her, I should say. Adepts. Mostly ladies from what I've seen. Hey, do Protoss have like a caste system, by the way? They seem like they'd have a caste system. They seem kind of elitist and pricky. Oh! Adept does go down. 1 Adept for 2 Zerglings. Great trade so far for Reynor. First Oracle coming in as that Adept is going to shade out. Sorry for the sloppy observing there, guys. Using the follow camera a little bit too much in a back and forth engagement does lead to some bad outcomes. I'll fix that up for the next one. Yeah, he's going to mine open the left. This is what I was talking about. Problem is, if you want to take this at like 4 minutes, right, it's taking a while now to open that hole up. Meanwhile, on the right side, Adepts come in and shade behind the wall, so another Zergling does fall. First Oracle arrives, gonna just deny the creep. That's worth, man. 25 energy right there, gone from your opponent. This Queen's gonna have to replace that creep tumor, which of course Reynor likely will just do again straight away. Now that doesn't fully connect the bases from there. That's only gonna connect to there. There'll be a very slight gap in the creep potentially. It's close enough to full connection. Overlord sees that the probes are over there. You can assume there's a third base already up. Second gateway is finishing in the natural, and the third and fourth gas goes down. Solid economic build up for MaxPax. The Queens are in position. Now, this map I hate against Protoss because of the dead space. Oracle gets 1 drone, make it 2. It takes a bit of a beating, so I don't think that's the end of the world for Reynor. But remember, the Oracles, they're going to come around this right side, and guess what? You can come in behind the back, attack the third, or attack the natural, or go straight into the main. And that is just, it's too much dead space. It makes air harass so annoying on this map. If you stop the Oracle from getting past, leave a spore on the edge or something, or leave your Queens nearby, it can work out. The Oracle comes in. Looks like 3 drones in total have gone down this game. That Oracle takes a fair bit of damage as well. Third Oracle arrives on the front. Twilight Council on a third and fourth gateway come down. Forge has been delayed slightly. I wouldn't be surprised to see that in the near future. And that Overlord looks like it'll survive. I favor Reynor so far, guys. I don't know about you, but this looks good for Reynor. The only thing he's suffering with is his tech. But who cares about tech? If you've got a fourth base at 5 minutes, you've already got 3 mineral lines full. You can make an unlimited amount of Zerglings. You've got 7 queens, 9 Zerglings, 54 drones. And if your opponent really just does kind of Adept Oracle into a third Nexus, into economy, they don't hit any sort of sharp follow-up pressure. Doing a rule of 1 gas, basically a Zerg versus Terran build order, is actually the best way to play in this matchup. The problem is if they sneakily go into Charge Zealots or Adepts or something like that, it's hard to deal with. But oh, he gets lured out of position! And MaxPax always looking to work multiple fronts at once. Gets himself a massive amount of damage. Good mining time. 4 drones go down. And that is some fantastic value, putting him in the lead economically. Now, already 33 Zerglings are out, ready to potentially surround these Stalkers. Blink ain't ready yet. You got to be careful. Don't get surrounded, Maxi. MaxPax looking to pressure that right side. Robo comes down behind this. He's already up to a 5th gas and a 6th gas. And the lair has finally started just after 6 minutes for Reynor. His Hydras are going to be so late in this game. But he's looking to defend with nothing but Lings and Queens. He's on 7 Queens with an 8th one coming in. Lings over there. You can see extra Queens pulling up from reserve. Just clearing the creep for now. As a Fleet Beacon in his 2nd Stargate goes down MaxPax. What is this? If this was Hero, I would just be unbridled, frothing at the mouth with rage. But against Reynor, does it make sense? Still no. What are you going to do? Build 2 carriers? Like, why? Guys, blink straight into carriers I don't like. I don't mind the old classic build he used at Gamers 8 last year, where he went quick 2 to 4 carriers and then blink afterwards on 3 to 4 base. But I'm just not sure what this is for. And it feels very awkward going to carriers from this position because it's not going to be that fast. +1 air weapons kicks in. The Fleet Beacon is there. What are we going to do with this? Yeah, carriers, guys. He's already started 1 carrier. No doubt he'll start a 2nd one when he has enough gas. Lings coming in, denying this 4th base on the left side. Infestation Pit's coming in. Reynor's not going to play Hydras, guys. He's going to go Hive. 2nd Evo Chamber might go down. We might see Carapace for him as well, since an Ultra transition is pretty natural from here. He's making Banelings, but guys, he didn't make Baneling speed. 2nd Evo Chamber goes down. I am a little bit kind of torn right now. Is he just going to blow the Adept up in the wall and run in? Oh my god, his whole plan is just to YOLO this natural. And this is actually the best way to play, because whenever Protoss or Terran take the left side, they always think, okay, I'll build like a cannon, or I'll put a bunker and a wall here. It's never enough if the Zerg knows that their army's going to be way out of position on the left side of the map as you come in. Baneling's going to blow up. Lings are going to get in. He's got to kill that sentry if possible. And Battery Overcharge comes in. Pretty good defense so far by MaxPax. That's some awesome crisis management. Will it be enough to defend himself, though? He's going to run probes out of the main as well as those Lings start to rip him down. Stalkers blink up. Great defense. 3rd base, though. Ooh. I like the way he's mineral walking all of these probes to try and get them away. 9 probes go down. Reynor has an insane economy behind this, guys. He's basically playing a base trade style. I think he knew this was going to be a Skytoss transition from MaxPax. I don't know how he knew it. Maybe they played a bunch on the ladder. But this feels like he knew this was happening because he's throwing units away. Is it cost efficient? No. Does it need to be? Absolutely not. Not if you're on 86 workers. He's going Hydra upgrades, double upgrades here. Hive's almost finished. And he's just going to try and defend with mass Hydra, which is fair enough, man. Templar Archives on the way from MaxPax as well. MaxPax is reprobing, but only on 3 bases. He could never get a 4th up, and I feel like Reynor has just built such a big economic lead. Oh, and he's going to tear the rocks down as well. Yeah, he knows he can't counterattack into the cannon. Hydra Queen Ling coming forward. Doesn't want to give up his infestation pit just yet. Nice transfuses on the Hydra. Hydra refusing to die. Quite a few of these interceptors are dropping. We're down to 12 interceptors across the 2 carriers. 16 max, of course. 8 per carrier. Oracles are going to chase off these Zerglings. They do run away. Good call. Zealots coming in. Unfortunately for MaxPax, they're slow Zealots, but as I say that, their shoes get slid on. And oh me, oh my, they are fast boys. Queen tries to hold the choke point, not quite able to. A couple drones will fall on the left side. Zerglings do get stasis trapped. Queen's going to try to run forward and do some damage. Got to be very wary of those carriers and those Stalkers. The combination is frightening. 12 Queens, though, are very tanky. That's a wall of Zerg meat. Taking out a big wall of Queens like that's very hard. MaxPax does not have Storm started yet. His 4th base is coming up behind this. but he is way behind in the numbers as the Spire starts for Reynor. Kind of surprising that we're seeing a Hydra transition. I'm not going to lie, guys. I thought we'd see Adrenal Glands. I thought we'd be seeing Ultras and more Lings and more Banes and Bane Speed. I thought we'd see a full base trade style with him just defending with Queens and Spores, but the mixing of the Hydras is definitely an odd choice. Baneling Speed and Adrenal Glands are coming in. Reynor definitely a little bit slower on that tech than I had initially expected. Oh, Lings, watch out! Dude, the Stasis Trap's doing well. That being said, Hydra's taking out Oracles. One of them goes down, the other ones do escape. MaxPax on the left side trying to fight here with the Carriers and the Stalkers. Stalkers do take out the Zerglings. He's going to have to back away from that left side for now. Zealots warping in. The Sentry does get taken out also. Oh, the Zealots clearing up only 1 or 2 Hydras before they're all gone. And dude, this counterattack is absolutely delicious. The Stasis Trap breaks. The wall off is gone. And that means the Lings are in. Taking out probes, taking out buildings, attacking the left side at the same time. This is just such a good way of stretching out MaxPax in a situation where he can't deal with everything at once. MaxPax left side's in trouble. I mean, to be fair, he's got his own counterattacks. MaxPax is a multitasking beast, but I always feel like it's a matchup to see who can be the aggressor, who can go first, and it almost always feels like the Zerg of Reynor's speed is able to be a bit more on top of him. Carrier does get focused down, though that army does fall. Units lost time's got to be something we check. Once again, 2,000 resources in favor of MaxPax, but he's down 24 workers. That's what matters. You can trade this badly as Reynor. The only scary thing is the carrier count getting out of control, but without +2 air weapons, I don't know if it's that big a deal. We've got 2 Vipers, Lurkaden. I don't really... I feel like carapace upgrades for Reynor would be amazing in this game. Hydra Queen coming up the ramp. Okay, transfuse rapid fire. Queen's not really going down. A couple of Interceptors go down. They're only 15 minerals a pop, so Interceptors are very cheap units. Lings are going to run into that main base right now. Out there in the natural. Zealots going down also. Lings picking off a few of these probes. Not bad, not bad. Queens and Hydras in the main still facing off with the 5 carriers. +2 attack does start in the midst of all this. MaxPax rushing for Sky Toss, but struggling with mass Zergling. Stalkers and carriers, neither are really the answer for mass Zergling run-bys. And still, even now, his Oracle's struggling to protect his economy from these Zerglings. Reynor is just getting absolutely egregious with these Zerglings. I couldn't think of the word, so we picked a completely different meaning word. That's what I call high IQ commentary, guys. It's getting out of hand. The Lings just keep going. Because this is such a big opening, you can't really wall that off. You can try to wall off over here. You can wall this off again. It's wide open right now, but as we speak, things are looking rough. He does actually have Storm feedbacks as well, but he loses his High Templar out of the Hydras, so even with a good Storm and feedback combo, it's not enough. And oh my lord, the Lings. He's going to have to recall a bunch of units onto this base. A few Archons, a few Zealots will be able to defend, but Reynor, his Zerglings are basically free. They're 25 minerals a pop, and they bite hard until you go home. You know they say go hard or go home. He bites hard until you go home. Some people say that doesn't make any sense. I'd say your mom doesn't make any sense. And then my Zergling would bite you. You'd be like, oh my god, why is your Zergling off leash? You're an irresponsible Zergling owner. And I'd say I'd learned from the best of them. Reynor's the king. Let's go. That's why I did get kicked out of my homeowners association. And there is an outstanding warrant for me, guys. But you know, that's besides the issue. 4 probes do go down. Lings and Hydras are still finding good value. Now, if the Corruptors can start picking off the carriers, that'll be nice. The scary thing here is that Reynor's screwing around too long, guys. Like I said, I really don't agree with the Lurk attack. I kind of feel he should have just killed him with Hydra Ling by now, but I understand why he didn't want to build that. I mean, Lurker Corruptor's good. He's still way ahead. He's still way... I'm like, oh... 7 carriers with +2 kicking in, you know, that's kind of scary. You have no armor upgrades except +1 now on your Mutalisks, or Corruptors I should call them, since that's what they actually are. There is an Overseer here. He needs an Overseer with his Corruptor Viper so we can actually kill the Observer. I mean, MaxPax has a 4th up. His income still sucks, of course. Where does he go for a 5th from here? Probably right below the main base, which could easily get sieged by the Lurkers. I mean, I don't know if there was an easy finishing blow, actually. I'm thinking about it. Like, maybe... Yeah, I think if he went Ultraling Bane, it would have been kind of easy to finish it off. But that's assuming they don't punish you because you don't have any anti-air with the counterattack. And Viper gets focused. Nice moves. Very nice moves. Creep spread's not great. Reynor's been so active with his Zerglings off creep. He's not really looking at those areas. His APM is being spent elsewhere. Battery's going to buy a bit of time for those guys. Looks like a Storm cleaned up most of those Zerglings as well. He's going to grab the grand total of 3 probes with that Ling Run by nowhere near as impressive as some of the previous ones. Greater Spire's on the way, as well as +2 Flyer Carapace. Going to give him the staying power on those Corruptors. Remember, guys, Interceptors have 2 attacks, which means they get +2 from every attack upgrade, or -2 from every one of your opponent's armor upgrades. So getting those armor upgrades to cancel out the carrier's attack upgrades is a big priority for Reynor. Makes a few more lurkers as well. He's starting to make spores. He's kind of knuckling down for the late game. And this is very Cyril-esque, right? I feel like there was probably some way you could have won the game by now. I'm not sure what it was. But you're just going to play safe and not take the risk. And that always makes me kind of go, oh, don't let him back in here. Don't take too long. But MaxPax undoubtedly is playing from behind. And if he wins this game, it will be an epic comeback. Ooh, Vipers. Stalkers aren't really a high-value unit right now. That being said, 13 kills, 12 kills, 11 kills, 7 kills, 16 kills. Man, those Stalkers have seen some stuff. Mama's got 8 kills as well, 2-kill carrier. The carriers don't really have a lot. One of them has 19, one of them has 18, another one has 19. That's okay. It's not bad. Alright, Templar ready on this base with some cannons. You can use Storm to just kind of, you know, tickle away at those lurkers a little bit, but this base is in jeopardy. Pull the probes, MaxPax, MaxPax, Storm again and pull the probes, my son. Oh no, he's going to push the right side. He's going all in. Blinding Cloud all over his army. The lurkers and the spores are there. He doesn't have an Oracle for detection, which means he cannot remove those lurkers. Those lurkers are doing great damage. Queens with mass transfuse, refusing to let the Spore Crawler die. Oh my lord, that Spore Crawler just tanked like 2,000 damage. Queens are now all gone, but this did buy a little bit of time. The Corrupted Viper hasn't really found an opportunity to engage. I think he must have already used his spells. One carrier did go down. Units lost tab looking pretty decent. Still about 2,000 resource lost advantage for MaxPax. Finally defends this base, but he never ran his probes away, guys. 21 probes going down. As I said, if you're fighting elsewhere, you've got to run your probes away while you're not looking. Otherwise, if you don't crush that fight, your economy's getting rinsed and you are in a big, big trouble. So as Zerglings, Chihuahuas, basically, guys. Alright, carriers, Archons, and Immortals. 5 Archons, 3 Immortals, 9 carriers. Watch out for the abduct! Oh no! Mama gets abducted and she goes down. MaxPax, this is his last army. He has to get the business done with this army. His economy's bad. The Lings are going to counterattack. They'll tear down the cannons easily. And Reynor is going to lose all of his tech. Oh no. He did get +2 flyer armor finished in time, which is good. Lings are getting cleaned up by Zealot Archon. They don't actually overwhelm that base, guys. I mean, they're doing some damage, but not a crazy amount. I think both Spires have gone down. There's still 1 Spire left. Hydroden as well. No lair being rebuilt. Just a few more Vipers, a few more Corruptors. Okay, tons of probes go down. Down to just 18 workers is MaxPax. And I think for Reynor, it's just don't take a bad fight. Every Zerg has thrown the game from here before. You built an economic advantage, but Protoss still has one big last army. And you just have to not screw it up against that army. You got to be careful, got to be calm, cool, and collected. That's easier said than done when MaxPax is killing all your tech. He's rebuilding a Lurker down. I'd like to see a Spire rebuilt before the lair goes down as well. Because this Spire is in the main base and it's going to go down. And actually, did the lair already... Oh, he already lost his lair. His lair was on the natural lair. Sorry, trying to speak American there. Lair. For us, it's just lair. Kind of like snare, you know? Ling's cleaning up the Nexus down there. Hydra Lurker coming in as well. Okay, what do we got? 29 Corruptors? Dude, if he could catch a few of these guys with abducts. Corruptors, watch out, bro! Okay, worth it. That's what we call one-shot town. Flies through, gets 2 carrier kills, flies away, no losses. Beautiful move there from Reynor. I think he has 1, 2. No, only +2 armor against +3 attack. But that's, you know, it's close enough in the upgrades. There's only 8 carriers. 4 more High Templar are warping in. We're going to be seeing Archons, carriers. There's also 4 Immortal, 6 Archons. No Ultras ever came out here for Reynor. And Abduct. And that's another one-shot. As long as he doesn't have to go over the Archons and the Storm, the Corruptors will win these fights. But, oh, bit of a stray carrier. Corruptor, sorry. He's got a full energy Viper there just waiting. The problem is if the High Templar is between him and the carrier, he shouldn't go for it. He has to try to come from a flank. Come from the left right now would be good because the High Templar are on the right. See how the High Templar come forward? He needs to get around to the right side. Right side, right side. Yeah, look at the way he pulls back. Nice abducts. He's going to get one. Can he get two? Oh, he gets two. Oh, the Hydra Lurker destroys the ground army, which means, guess what? The Corruptors can now dive. MaxPax going up a ramp into Lurkers, and he meets his maker. Reynor takes map 1. All right, guys. MaxPax did not win that game. That's the scoreboard in the wrong direction. There we go. That's fixed. Storm Gaming's MaxPax in the bottom left. Reynor's in the top right, going for a 12 pool. Old school, baby. Now, this is interesting because he's so known for taking the purple gas. I don't think he would ever proxy hatchery on this map. I really wonder, what does a 12 pool really achieve here? Oh, yeah, because he really does make it look like he's going for the purple gas base. And that's just so expected, isn't it? I don't know if the probe even saw that. Because if you look at the probe's vision, I mean, I think he'll check for it. Oh, Reynor's actually potentially going to go offensive hatchery as well. So MaxPax is like, oh, you don't have that hatchery? Or that hatchery? And he should immediately bring a probe to the natural. Pull this guy to the natural right now. We should know it's potentially a 12 pool. You have to pull a probe down there. MaxPax being crazy greedy right now. MaxPax, this is how he dies to dark sometimes, is because he sees clear signs of tricky BS, but it's only when he sees the eggs that he pulls down there, which means he doesn't have a head start on the second gate or the second pylon. He's going to build the second pylon on the front right there. I think the second pylon would have been better placed over here, but of course, if he doesn't start it straight away, it's going to be an issue. So this is a... I don't know what you guys would refer... I like a nice tight choke point personally. This one here is... It's a gaper. That's the only word. It's a... You know those giant fish, like a groper, I guess, which kind of sounds like gaper. With this like big, giant, open, dumb mouth. Yeah, that's what this opening is. A Zealot is needing extra probes to help back it up. Otherwise, it cannot hold that choke point. Now, you want to defend your gateway here is MaxPax. That's why he's bringing 3 probes to the low ground. He's building more probes. Second Zealot coming in and a bunch of other stuff as well. Second Zealot's on the way. We're going to chrono it into the Adept. Dude, the Zerglings are still being built. Reynor's like all in. Guys, Reynor is still building Zerglings. He's doing a meme build. Reynor's doing a meme build! I think he's been watching Snake stream. I've got to ask him. Can you guys remind me to send Reynor a message after this game? Has he been watching Snake stream? This is what Snake does, man. Snake is a GM NA Zerg who plays bizarre playstyles, and it really feels like he's been inspired by him and some of the other NA guys. Because it's such an odd style. As long as he protects the Adept, though, the Adept plus the Zealots are going to be so good. The probes are dying. He does lose 2 or 3 probes, but the Adept is still solid in the wall. Is it, though? Lings are popping out from behind. If you can get rid of these Zealots and this Adept before the battery finishes, but he can't. He only kills 1 Zealot and 2 probes. And remember, this is massively committed. Reynor has just started droning. He was on 12 workers this whole time. So even though, like, okay, yes, you get a Zergling out here. What's the point of Queen, guys? The Queen's going to die when she pops, isn't she? Because the battery's already out. I guess he can pop a Creep Tumor on the outside if he really wants to, but... Oh, he's going to use her. She's a distraction. She's like, hey, boys, come over here. Meanwhile, the Zergling's going to the main base, trying to take advantage of this distraction. Reynor trying to out-multitask MaxPax, trying to stress him out, seeing if he gets some damage done. No doubt, MaxPax is not used to dealing with this level of madness, but he's handling it so well. How many probes did we get? Was it just the 2? 3 probes and a Zealot for 24 Zerglings and a Queen and a hatchery. I mean, don't get me wrong, this delays the hatchery by a long time. You can turn this into an advantage as Reynor, but right now you are behind it. Oh my gosh, he doesn't have link speed or gas even started mining, and there's 2 Adepts. Oh no! Guys. Is Reynor in town? He's in a certain town that I used to talk about a lot right now, guys. You know, ever since going PG-13+, I've stopped talking about it as much, but the old school fans know exactly what town we're talking about. Put it in the comments section. You guys know you want to. I mean, these Zeps just did crazy damage. That much mining time when you're stuck on 18 drones, no third hatchery on the way. This is so hard to deal with right now. And behind it, you've cleaned up the hatchery, and now you've got... What? It's going to be 5 Adepts and a Zealot counterattacking. How the heck do you deal with this as Reynor when you've only got... What has he got? A 3rd Queen? No, only 2 Queens. 2 Queens can't even fight this. Okay, he's got Transfuse on 1 Queen. But if MaxPax literally just clicks on the high energy Queen, he can just kill it. She's gonna transfuse the low energy Queen. Low energy Queen's getting low though. She's getting low. Didn't realize. Oh gosh. Okay, Zealot's gonna go down as well. 4 Adepts are gonna come forward. We might be able to shade into the main base. Can we get the Queen? Queen does go down, shading into the main base. Trying to focus down the drones. Oh, man. Reynor's like, please die, 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 die. I can't afford to lose any more drones, man. And he's lost so many. I think this is just good clinical hold and a decisive counter pressure. And this just reminds us once again, when a Zerg throws the kitchen sink at you and you block it, it's very important to use those units you use to block it to then counterattack. Because if you let them build a third hatchery with no link speed behind it, or just in general drone up, they can be in a good position. But if you move straight across that map, that massive overcommitment of Zerglings is ridiculous. GG, well played. A great hold there from MaxPax to staunch the flow of Zerglings, and does manage to stop the hemorrhaging in this series. Ties it up now 1-1. And looking pretty good for Psystorm. Reynor in the top left side of the map gets a bit cheeky, tries something a bit crazy, and this is what I've loved. I mean, I don't know if I think I've mentioned it a few times to my audience. You know, Reynor's really been seeking advice, and I always feel like when Reynor's just being cheeky and mixing in some crazy all-ins, he plays his best StarCraft. When he's not worried about losing a map here or there, doing some wild, crazy stuff, I think it makes him harder to play against. And I think it also just does something psychologically for his confidence where it makes losing less hard. Because I think Reynor always grew up as a player and evolved as a guy who took big gambles and was used to sometimes they don't work out and you just kind of move on, right? You shake your head, you go, that didn't work out, whoops. But ever since he stopped gambling as much as a player, stopped playing such a crazy style, started playing very like Serral inspired, but like even more generic than Serral, I would say. Almost like Serral playing ladder rather than Serral playing a tournament. Feels like sometimes he was taking individual game losses too hard, getting a bit tilted or thrown off. And even, it's not like I never saw Reynor really fall apart in a series, but even if you drop like 1% performance after a loss, that makes a big difference in a game like StarCraft. And I feel like for Reynor in the past, if anything, we'd see him power up with every loss. So I love this new version of Reynor that's like just throwing crazy all-ins out there, mixing in these gambly builds. He's not doing it every game, but he's mixing it in enough that he's hard to play against, and he himself is kind of willing to take risks and not stressing over an individual map loss here or there. I've always said from my own days, one of the biggest insights as a competitor was that it doesn't matter how well you prepare, how well you play, there will be tournaments in StarCraft you just lose. You simply cannot control everything. There are too many variables, and sometimes the stars will align and all your hard practice will pay off. And other times, all your hard practice won't pay off because your opponent has a perfect build you've never seen before, no one else has seen, and it just counters what you'd prepared for that tournament. And don't get me wrong, could you prepare better? Absolutely, but you can't control everything. And once you can accept your powerlessness, you can kind of be a bit more relaxed when tournaments don't go your way, when things don't go your way. You kind of go, hey, look, the harder I try, the more chances I give myself, but no one tournament is a guaranteed sure thing. And I think even the best players in the world, even the monumental champions, the Leifs, the Serrals, the Stats, the Marus, they all know this. They all know that, like, hey, you set yourself up for success as best you can, but at the end of the day, the pieces are going to fall where they may, right? The battle's going to go to hell in a handbasket very quickly. You go in there with a plan, and you just try and adapt. And just as important as having a good plan for everything is being able to adapt under pressure and just roll with the punches and not panic. Don't panic. You know, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, right? Those are the big words printed on the back of it. There was a StarCraft Pro Gamers manual. That would be the big thing. And if you're Gummio, it would also have the whole advice about the towel. Oh, Adept's going to get... Oh my god, the micro! What am I looking at? I'm not even commentating. It's so well microed by both players. What did I just witness? I wish I commentated that. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. He built a Spore Crawler, and then he went to build a second one. Before he even built the second one, MaxPax changed targets. So he cancelled it. Then MaxPax changed targets back to it, so he rebuilt it before the unit died. Then MaxPax cancelled his Shade because he realized he could get more damage. So he had to cancel and rebuild his Spore like twice. Then do a third Spore Crawler trick. Reynor avoids any drone losses, gets the Adept kill though. And you got to say, that is a beautiful move by Reynor. And that is the sort of beautiful styling micro, the flair, that makes us know that Reynor is really feeling the game right now. You know, it's awesome. It's awesome. When Reynor's playing like that, he's a very tough matchup for MaxPax. And this is kind of fascinating because I really felt like last week when they played, MaxPax would be the favorite because Reynor has been rather average against Protoss. He's had a bit of a psychological block. He's been a bit confused about how to win. He's just been a bit all over the place in the matchup in general, dropping series left, right, and center to Lemon, to Nightmare, to all these different guys while he was over in Korea. And MaxPax, on the other hand, has been looking nigh unstoppable against guys like Dark and Solar. But now when we see Reynor do little moves like that, I'm like, oh, is Reynor back to being a big favorite like he was a few years ago in this matchup? Like, I don't know, man. I feel like MaxPax has been beating Clem a bit more than ever later. Maybe up to a 40% win rate versus MaxPax, where he's used to always be about 30%. Nice run by Gets 4 drones. But he's always been, like, pretty much unable to beat Serral outside of individual ladder games. He can never beat Serral in a big series, and very rarely able to beat Reynor. But, you know, I thought those tables had turned. And even though MaxPax clearly has improved over the last 6 months, has Reynor just had one of these crazy erratic jump-ups in skill? Potentially. It's not over by any means. I mean, it's literally just a cool move. It's just, for me, I feel like psychology plays in so much in StarCraft, and confidence, and he's clearly got a good psychological setup. Oh my lord! No defense. Oh, 4 probe snipe, and the Zealot will go down, as will the Stalker. Nice micro here for Reynor. Depths and Oracle get recalled. Oracles in the main go in, and they get deflected. Yeah, the Stalker goes down. He's going to get another probe as well. That probe's going to go down. Oh my gosh. Dude, is he going to kill another few probes? MaxPax falling apart right now. MaxPax, oh my gosh, he should have been warping in another Zealot here already, surely. Recalls, not to the third base. 7 probes go down. These Oracles, he needs more damage. Dude, he killed 6 drones. If you can get another 5 to 8 in the next minute, while hitting his own macro points and beats just perfectly, I think he can get back in here, but right now he's in a bad spot. Another probe going to go down. Reynor, he's in control. I always feel like Solar is very good at poking with his Zerglings aggressively like this. Him and Reynor are both. If they've got a pack of Lings in your face and you've already bled out a few Adepts and Stalkers, it becomes a bit of a slippery slope where they kind of just drag themselves further ahead. Going to 6 gateways right now. Oracle's going in. They got 1 more drone there, guys. Brings it up to 7 drones. But I mean, Reynor on Golden Aura, when he has a good start, I always think of the Hearthstone game, guys. The Hearthstone game from the very start of this map pool, one of the first games we saw on it in a weekly cup. And Hearthstone beat him in map 1 after Reynor was in a pretty good spot. So Reynor, game 2, Golden Aura, does the greediest play I've ever seen. He was at 75 workers at 6 minutes, which is he's kind of, you know, that similar pace this time around, right? Despite there being some aggression. And then he just swarmed like crazy with mass upgraded Zergling. Hearthstone came back and won that game because Reynor just got really lazy, started throwing masses of Zerglings away. But that was a, you know, new map pool, being a bit sloppy. I'll never forget the economic growth and just thinking, wow, Hearthstone, you made Reynor mad. Not a good play. Angry Reynor, very scary. Now, it's a Gateway Man style, guys. So we've got +2 attack, +1 armor. Those upgrades are amazing against Mutalisks. And there is a Spire here. And this is the safest place to put your Spire because often the Oracles go around the back of your base looking for tech. It's very hard for them to get in here without getting shot down by Queens. 72 Zerglings. Oh, watch out for the stasis traps. Oh, look at that. He saw the Lings coming, so he blinks to stop them setting off the stasis trap. Queens get frozen there. He could blink on that Queen if he wants to, but the Mass Ling threatening the counterattack. Probably worth clicking on this. Oh, the Stalkers blink in. Oh, MaxPax blinks into a surround. Oh, no. Reynor baited him by only showing a section of his Zerglings. MaxPax just getting annihilated in this game. Reynor looking like a bloody hellbeast. I mean, he's been ahead in the game already, right? This was a slippery slope that we rarely see happen to MaxPax. This is what happens when I play Dark, where I'm like, I think I'm doing okay. And then at 8 minutes, he's maxed out and I'm at 100 supply. And I'm like, how did this happen? You know, and you're like, this guy just got ahead, then he got more ahead, then he used that lead to get even more ahead. Zergling's going for the surrounds. Oracle's getting focused down. MaxPax has nothing he can do there. We've got to watch that early game. I'm going to recast the early game because that was cool. Yeah, so check it out, guys. This is the first Adept. It comes in just past 3 minutes. And this was incredibly cool. He sees no Lings and he's like, wait a second. What? Probably shouldn't have even canceled that Shade, to be fair. Probably should have just got in there and done the damage. So he runs in. And look at that. Reynor goes for the Spore Trick, but MaxPax has already changed target. So he's like, oh, okay, you're going to Shade out. Then he's like, oh, crap, you canceled the Shade. So he has to rebuild the first Spore and the second one. He's like, damn it. But then he still doesn't lose any units. I mean, that's beautiful micro. I like MaxPax with the preemptive target changes so that he built Spore Crawlers that he didn't need to. And then he cancels them when you cancel the Shade at the very last millisecond. So Reynor canceled a few times a bit too early, but overall great micro from both sides. Reynor takes the 2-1 advantage. All right, MaxPax in the top right. He's looking pretty good. Reynor in the bottom left. I mean, MaxPax is looking pretty good outside of, you know, losing momentum at the start, having that Ling run by absolutely ruin him and just getting caught out. I think he had, like, was he supply blocked and couldn't warp in maybe when those first guys came in? I felt a little bit awkward. Third hatchery goes down. And here we go. Yeah, just chronoing probes. Pretty standard stuff. I mean, MaxPax loves to just force you to take that third base. Play it out from there. This is what he'll do every single time in this matchup. And he's not even checking if it's like a proxy hatchery or anything or a gold base. He's like, yeah, I blocked you. You're probably just going to take the third. And to be fair, 9 times out of 10, you're correct. Ooh, Reynor sitting in position with his spawning pool drone. Could have potentially been blocked there. MaxPax moved over just a half a second quicker. Gonna move over there as well. Is your voice a little bit rough? I mean, I've been casting the weekly cup, and that's kind of just casting into casting into casting, so I haven't been drinking any warm water either. I haven't really been taking any breaks, so yeah, I should have got myself some warm water on the break. I think it's also just like after lunch, after eating, the voice is usually a little bit less clear. Probably should get some warm water into me, but it is what it is. Also, just not trying to project my voice quite as much as normal. Hopefully it's okay. Hopefully the content of the words will still be enough to carry us. That might be a bit of a higher expectation than I can live up to, though. MaxPax does mine the minerals. He knows Lings could pop out. Now, you know what's cool here, guys? Reynor's not building any Zerglings. Not a single Zergling. And he did the same thing last game. Guys, MaxPax should be blocking the third hatchery. But because he's not, Reynor's getting away without building Zerglings. This is a Serral level adjustment. Normally, Reynor just does the same thing every game. But I always say MaxPax gets studied by Serral, and that's why Serral gets ahead against him every game. Before the game even starts, Serral knows what he's going to do, studies his habits, and just gets better openings. And it maybe Reynor is likewise picking some things up here. Hatchery coming in as well. Adept coming in as well. So Robo after Twilight for MaxPax. This is not a Stargate build. It's going to be sending some fierce aggression. Can you reach from up there, guys? I don't think you can reach those from the high ground on this map, can you? Maybe there's like one spot up here where you can barely hit them, but it seems like it's a little too far. Stalker's come out behind. A second gateway comes up. We should be seeing Glaives in a moment. He's already pulled 2 workers off gas. And chrono boosting Glaives into a 3rd and 4th gateway. Now, as Reynor, he has no idea this is happening. He's going for 5 queens. He's building his Zerglings. And about 4 minutes, if he hasn't seen an Oracle, he should start to wonder what's up. I mean, he's already seen a Stalker in the wall off, to be fair. He should have a good idea this is happening. I mean, he saw Warp Gate. Yeah, and he didn't delay Warp Gate at all. So he didn't fake it out with the Warp Gate timing. Roach Warren goes down at 340. It is a single gas Roach Warren. And probably wants to have these drones rally back into the main base. 2 gases, yeah. 2 gases, a Roach Warren, 2 mineral lines, and maybe a scattering of drones onto your 3rd base. Make a bunch of roaches for safety. This is the standard way of defending it. I feel like Reynor is pretty well set up. Adepts warping in. Prism coming out. 2 Adepts already out front of the base. He's going to find himself a Zergling there, trying to clear up Reynor's map vision. Reynor could put the Zergling over there in a little sneaky spot. With the Prism coming, you know that's not going to work. So he goes around. He'll make sure that the 3rd base doesn't get up for free. But look at that. He's already going to clear it up. I love this move by MaxPax. Trying to make it hard for Reynor to see what's going on. He does force a warp in, though. Great move by Reynor. Actually forces an Adept warp in at home. Robo Bay goes down as well as the 3rd gas behind this non-stop pro production. Reynor's stopped at just 38 workers. I understand that's the safest way to play here is stopping at 38 workers. But it is incredibly conservative, right? Like it's the safest. If they do like a really committed 5 or 6 gate, you can survive with this, right? But do you really need to be that safe every single game? Reynor starting to drone up, build himself a lair as well in case Dark Templar come in afterwards. That's the same thing Dark normally does. So if Dark does it, it can't be bad in my opinion. Lings are on the other side, denying any attempt to take a 3rd. 4th gas is up. Robobay is there as well. Is going to be a disruptor to start things off. More drones coming in. Reynor's finally going to overtake on the worker count in a second. Finally start able to use that third base. He's got 7 workers on it now. Roaches and queens here, pushing the adepts to shade nice and early. These lings on the other side, looks like they're going to go down as the adepts chase them off. Third nexus is placed. Good low impact pressure here for MaxPax. All he's done is kill 4 Zerglings this game. This is like very low pressure. It's not a huge commitment or anything like that. He's just kind of like, I'm forcing you to make army. And that in itself is quite scary. Disruptor's coming out with the speed prism as well. I love that this is Europe versus Europe, so we are going to see the speed prism with no lag on either side. Whenever I'm watching a game cross-server with that, I always think, is it that good cross-server? Not really. Spires on the way as well. Blink coming in. Similar enough work accounts that I think MaxPax should be happy with that. The problem is the Spire. If he doesn't realize what's happening with that Spire, that could be an issue for him. 15 Roaches, 39 Zerglings on the map. If those Lings counterattack, it's probably their best bet. If they could get a surround on the battery, force a whole ton of warp-ins at home, that's their best bet. Watch out for the Speed Prism! First Disruptor shot gets dodged. Great pullback. Roach speed still 40 seconds away. That is definitely something you want to have out before the real big fight. These Adepts come in. Lings are on top. Lings will deal with that nicely. Meanwhile, in the front, looks like the Disruptors did land a hit, guys. One of them got 5 Roaches. He's got 5 kills. So 5 of those Roaches do go down. Now, the Adepts do shade in. That's kind of a crazy move. Reynor gets a fantastic defense. I think MaxPax gets way ahead of himself in this game. And you know what's really bad for him, guys? I don't think he knows about the Spire. Oh, he did see it building. But I'm not sure if it registered, right? Was he really watching those 2 Adepts at that point? I mean, he should know now. Yeah, he sees the Spire now. He's going to go for a Disruptor shot. Oh my gosh, 10 drones? And 2 more 12 drones. Reynor with a big slip-up. He should have just spread his drones out. You don't want to run them all in one direction. By the way, this Evo chamber is terrible. What happened here? Did he build that to stop it dying from an Adept, and then he accidentally didn't cancel it? Oh, not a great Evo chamber placement. Blocking his gases, blocking his drone movements. Roach speed is done. You gotta watch out for the Disruptors, though. Those Disruptors are gonna throw those balls at you. Drop trowel, turn around. Those Roaches are gonna make the Zerg all frowny if they can connect, but so far unable to connect. Battery overcharge is available, guys. It hasn't been used just yet. Probably should be using it. Oh, the Natural is actually getting overrun right now. Oh me, oh my. Okay. MaxPax there. He's gonna try and maybe ferry these Disruptors up. Cannon in the Natural will help out. I think the Roaches should just try to focus down whatever Zerglings they can. You can see he's not really killing anything, just damaging them. And in the main base, dude, MaxPax with some really good multi-pronged defense. The Roaches in the third trying to do what they can. The Roaches in the main going to grab a few more. Yeah, this is that probe focus fire I was talking about. And it looks like Reynor's got this one in the bag, guys. Looks like it's going to be a 3-1 victory, most likely for Reynor. Unless MaxPax can pull some magic out. There are 9 Mutalisks on the way right now. And this is going to be absolutely ridiculous. If he can finish this off, that will be huge. The Observer sees it, and MaxPax has to go. He's like, well, I can't defend Mutas. I've got no economy. I guess he's got a cannon in each base. And that can kind of stall the Mutas out. And he's like, maybe I can kill you. To be fair, there's no Roaches on the ground. Only Zerglings. Reynor's still building Mutaling. Reynor, has he been too greedy right now? There's a Colossus with this. The Queens will go down to the Disruptors. The Colossus can deal with the Zerglings. Stalker's a good generic unit. The Mutas are all coming home. He's bringing everything home. Reynor in panic mode right now. He's so far ahead on the economy, but he needs Roaches and Ravages here. Those are the units he needs to defend as the Queens get blasted by the Disruptors. Prism gets taken down, but the Stalkers take out a few of those Mutalisks. MaxPax somehow making a play for victory in a game that is not being going his way. A series where all momentum is against him. And yet the supply is dead even. He's got the army advantage. This was the perfect scout and the perfect push timing for him. The Mutas and the Ling's going to try and counterattack. His Stalkers are getting caught out in the middle of nowhere. Does blink them again, and these Stalkers blinking back. I like the pullback of his entire army. Realizing, look, if I can stabilize at home, maybe, just maybe, we can do some stuff here. He's going to have to pull back to the battery, though. And he does pull back to the battery. Overcharges as well. A few Stalkers heading back. Oh, gosh, oh, gosh, oh, gosh. A Mutalisk goes down. Another Mutalisk could fall if those Stalkers do decide to blink on top of it. Meanwhile, on the other side, it looks like the gold base goes down. 5 drones on the gold are slayed. That gold base, never a safe expansion. Such a risky one for Reynor to take, especially when going Mutalisks. You should never take the gold base. You should expand top left towards the purple gas and along these edges so that your bases are diversified as possible. Mutaling comes in. Big surrounds coming in on the Stalkers. Few Stalkers do go down, but the Colossus is doing so much damage It finally does fall. Reynor with the queens especially helping out there. Still on pure queen Zergling. I don't know, man. Obviously, at this point, Roach Ravager ain't going to do it, right? You're too far behind. You need a more efficient unit. Is Zerglings going to be enough, though, against such a number of Blink Stalkers? I feel like you need more army supply, or at least even as the Zerg, fighting from less army supply is going to make things so difficult. Oh, Stalker Disruptors seeing what they can do. Zerglings rotating around. Mutiling Queen seeing if they can come out. Stalkers blinking back. The muta count, I don't care how high you get that muta count. It's not what you want against +1 Stalkers. It's not the unit you want against +1 Stalkers. The Queens are helping so much. Watch out for the balls. Gets himself a hit on only a single Queen with that Disruptor shot. The Stalker blink back micro is excellent. There's a little pack of Zerglings. They're going to come in from the top right to flank this army. Maybe grab a few low hit point Stalkers that blink into them, but they only got one. And dude, the Stalkers are just still way too healthy. The units lost have 5,000, almost 6,000 in favor of MaxPax. And Reynor gets himself a lead, but goes a bit too hard on the Mutalisks. I think if he went for the Mutas, just the first round, 9 Mutas, nothing else, and built nothing but Roach Ravager behind that, I think he has that game in the bag, but he just got a little too ahead of himself, went completely into Mutiling mode, and if you do that, you kind of need to base trade, but he didn't quite have the momentum. Perfect scout from MaxPax, and a beautiful comeback to tie up the series. Well, the games ain't stopping, and the games ain't stopping. MaxPax getting us to game 5 on Ghost River in the top right. And Reynor in the top left, he's looking so good, but unfortunately, when you go Mutalisks, and to be fair, like if MaxPax scouts that 20 seconds later, I think it's fine for Reynor. But it being scouted at that moment with that speed prism flying in, and the 12 drones as well. Remember, don't forget the 12 drones that went down to those 2 disruptors that dropped when he scouted the Spire. That was MaxPax's winning move. You do massive damage. Reynor goes back to 70 drones. Think about it. If he hadn't lost the 12, that's the equivalent of building up to 82 drones against a 50 pro Protoss player who had nothing after that counterattack of Roachling. So definitely a big misstep for Reynor, being a bit too greedy, but hats off to him for getting himself ahead in the first place. MaxPax, though, with beautiful. I like the way that he pulled back. A lot of players would have been like, no, I need to kill you now. The fact that he pulled back for the Mutiling and kind of secured his reinforcement, his rally across the map, was actually really big. Reynor's got to avoid that frustration hitting. Playing like he did in that last game, I think, is fantastic. Just tiny, little adjustments. Little adjustments. That's all he needs, yo. If he's in a good mindset, he'll bounce right back from it. If he's in a bad mindset, he may play just a little bit worse after a game like that. He might be a little frustrated. Pig was really trying to sell the 3-1. I don't know how long these games are, Bugs, but I thought I'd been given the replays in the wrong. I was mad. I had a moment a few minutes before the end of that game where I was legitimately angry because I was like, Reynor told me the wrong map order. Because I was convinced he was going to win. It was going to be a 3-1, and we were actually watching the 5th game of the series and not the 4th game. Because I knew it was a 5-game series. I got 5 replays off him. I'd already seen the score this morning. Even though I didn't know who won which map, I just knew the end score. And I'd asked him and MaxPax both, and I said, guys, send me the replays. And they both sent them to me. And Reynor was the one who also said the map order there as well. Yeah. I was like, damn, man. I should have just looked at Wikipedia or the maps like I normally do. I was like, the one time I didn't bother doing that. I just trusted. Because I figured if I looked at the map order on Wikipedia, it would be hard not to see who won each map. Like, I can kind of know where to look on the screen to avoid it, but it's hard not to, like, get a glimpse of it, you know? All right, here we go, guys. Adept's coming forward. Third hatchery is up. Good to see MaxPax able to make those comebacks versus a guy like Reynor. Easier said than done for sure. Goes to the high ground. Can you hit from up there? He can scout at least. Twilight Council again, guys. I was not expecting this. So he's going to go Twilight Council. I think Robo before anything else, probably. Or is he waiting for Dark Shrine? Oh, we might be seeing a Dark Templar opening. No, Glaives does go down. It's a Glaives with a delayed Robo. Okay. I think it's a little slow on the Glaives, but that's all right. Adept goes back in for more. Could pick himself off a Zergling, but the Zergling's pulled back. Nice play. Only one Ling going down to the first 2 Adepts. Second gateway goes down in the wall off. Third gateway's already up. Robo comes down a little bit later. All right, we've got 3 queens there. So we've got 4 going on 6 queens. Reynor should know it's Twilight Council. But he's not. He's only just back on gas now. No Roach Warren. Oh my god, it's an all-in! Oh, geez, sorry for sounding a bit crazy. I just did not expect MaxPax in Game 5 to go for a 6-gate Glaives. Roach Warren's kind of late. It does go down at 4 minutes for Reynor. Just before 3:55. 3:55. Massive commitment. He sees no third base. He's about to see no gases on the natural. And if there's no third and no gases there, especially at like 4:45, I'd say, 5 minutes, if there's no gases there, that can be a bit of a tell. Right now, though, it's already 6-gate Glaive Adept aggression. Here we go. Adepts are going in. Plenty of Zerglings coming out. There's plenty of those to defend. 6 queens are ready. 1 queen in the main. Roach Warren is only now finishing. The Adept's just chilling for now as the Warp Prism does start coming out. And he's going to clear up that Zergling on that third base, pretending to secure a third. Immediately, Reynor sends another scout. Remember I pointed out Reynor and Dark? I've said for many years now, they don't really scout nearly as much as other players, and they just kind of assume their pressure will show them what the opponent's doing. Well, guess what? He does send a Ling out, and I think he's ready to send that in to scout that third base, which is brilliant. He's actually even sending a counterattack. Yeah, he's going to go in with like 6-7 Zerglings, trying to see what's going on. Meanwhile, Mass Adept on the front. 6 Roaches coming out too, but he's building more drones! Uh-oh, Reynor, you do not want to build more drones right now, but he holds the high ground, does push back the first Adept. Lings are going to come in. Stalker is there. MaxPax needs to warp in at home or wall off, one or the other. The Adepts did cancel their shade, all except these 2 that did complete the shade. Shield Battery is not walling off. That's not a wall off! That's not a wall off, MaxPax! Okay, he does now warp in an Adept and another one there. These Adepts need to cancel the shade. If he goes for it, it's kind of a crazy move. He's going to go for it. He could take out that Queen for sure. And he's going to have to shade out of that main base. There's still 1 Adept here in the third. That Adept is ruining the Zerg because he just killed 8 Lings. Going to shade into the natural as well. Lots of Roaches and Queens on top. You do not want to lose these Adepts. He's trying to fight right now. Starts to take out a few of these Roaches, but as the Lings come in to close, doesn't finish off those 2 damaged Roaches, and that's a problem. Queens could transfuse those as well, if he so chooses. The Adept's going to try and shade on out of this base. Units lost tab is in favor of Reynor right now. The third base is not building, remember. There are Immortals coming in behind this, but this is a 6-gate Glaive Adept. If he can kill the third base, it's all worth it. If he can't kill the third, and he loses any more Adepts for free, he's in trouble. If he keeps all the Adepts alive, oh, he gets a few drones as they pop. That's great. 3 drones pop out, instantly die. And these Adepts could definitely focus fire. Does get rid of a Roach there. Roach for an Adept or 2 is not too bad. Cancels the shade. Third base is protected. Reynor hangs on right now with Roach, Ling, Queen. Third Nexus does build for MaxPax, but it's very late at 6 minutes 30. He's going to go for a drop into the north. Meanwhile, 1 Immortal's out. Second one does start building. He does start a pylon as well. I love that MaxPax is still paying attention to his pylon production. Adept shade does cancel. Third base still very heavily damaged as the Queens push this prism back to the right side. That was a very intense moment. It's not really an all-in, but it's an incredibly committed timing attack, right? 6 Adepts, Glaives, you go, go, go. You want to get massive damage. How many Adepts did he lose? 13 Adepts, and he's already got 20 more. And he's going to hit with the 2 Immortals and the Prism, guys. Prism comes back. The 2 Immortals will climb inside. Ooh, but the Ling counterattack. That's going to complicate things. Nothing in the wall off. Nothing at the third. And the Lings for Reynor are running in. Oh, geez. Don't warp in on the front. He warps in a bunch of Adepts at that third base. Adepts fight very well versus Zerglings, but I almost feel like Zealots would be better in these choke points at the back. Third base will have to chill out. Immortal Adept on the front. They're going to do big damage. Oh, get out of there, Reynor. His Queens and Roaches desperately trying to run away. He's still a while from Roach speed. The Queens do take damage. One of them goes down. Adept tries to warp in there, but it moves out of the choke point. He's going to need to just defend his natural is MaxPax. MaxPax takes out the third base. MaxPax is looking good right now. He's got those 2 Immortals. The Prism is not too far away as well. The Adepts and the Immortals are hammering right now. I mean, yeah, the Adepts don't do that much damage up against the Roaches, but the Immortals, they do so very much. And he's going to start stutter stepping as well, using, of course, the Immortals' ability to shoot down those units. These Adepts looking to shade past, and indeed they will, but already the drones are evacuated. Only on 2 bases, Reynor, but he just killed so many Adepts. And look at the trading, 2,300 resources more efficient. Kills the third base, kills the pylon there, gets a bunch of probes and Adepts, and that is what's going to be really good for him. But look at that, the third hatchery gets cancelled. Good cancel. At least it wasn't a kill. Now, we've got a Robobait charge, so it's going to be, it looks like maybe a Disruptor. But on 2 base, this isn't great. If MaxPax had a corner base going up or something, if he had a probe in the corner, I almost guarantee he'd build a corner base because he needs an expand. He needs it desperately. Immortal comes out. The moment you see the Immortal, you don't want none of that. And indeed, he does back away. Looks like the Prism's out there as well. Prism on top of the Roach Rally is always a good move. Oh, as long as he keeps microing well. You don't want to drop right on top of the Roaches because they will get their attacks off very quickly. You can dodge them if you pick up very quickly. 2,000 resources lost difference. Reynor has so much more supply. Once his third base comes back up, he can drone that thing back up. Getting more damage. Good transfuses to keep them healthy. I'd like to see a Disruptor, guys. I definitely think a Disruptor or two is kind of the unit that maybe could make a big comeback. Just don't even show it. Keep it in the Prism until everything else is deep into a battle, and then drop it like halfway through a fight or something. I know that sounds crazy. You're so far down in supply, but definitely something we might be thinking is possible. You want to just make very valuable units as MaxPax. Sentries for force fields can be really good. Not saying they necessarily will be, though. They can be. Immortal's doing okay. An Observer would be great to make sure this creep doesn't get too far out. Overlord pokes in. I think it saw the Forge. Doesn't see the Templar Archives behind that, though. 13 more drones coming in. Reynor is finally ready to drone up here and make up for being behind for so long. He's making so many workers. He's thinking about a 4th base. I think a very wise choice to pull back here. Supply is so scary right now. Yeah, I think it's just that trading, right? Being at 2,000 resources, you're making Roach Ravager, which is already a kind of inflationary unit composition. Disruptor does come out, by the way. That first Disruptor's about to pop. We're going 6 gates into 8 is MaxPax. I don't really know if this is the sort of game where you should be making more gateways, because what units are you making? You got to think about this, guys. What's he actually making? The occasional Archon. He's not non-stop warping in Zealots because he doesn't have enough money. So I think this is the sort of game where you're better off non-stop warping and off 6 gateways, never missing a beat on your robo production, than you are trying to do like an 8-gate build. But it looks like he's trying to do it like a timing attack, because he's stopped robo production. He's just going to go for it. 5 Immortals, no Forge upgrades. He's got a Forge. It got scouted, but he's decided, hey, you scouted that. You probably think I'm chilling. He's going to go for a 10-gate, at least pressure, if not some more damage. And he's keeping an eye out, looking at what's going on. That Observer comes out now. He's needed that Observer for a little while. I wouldn't mind him investing in gases on the 3rd, trying to maybe even think about a 4th base. +1 attack does finally start up. Meanwhile, Burrow, Baneling speed, Roach Burrow, as well as Burrow. Ooh, tunneling claws is, I guess, what that ability is actually called. The claws that tunnel. Oh my gosh, 2 more gateways coming in. It's going to be 10 gateways right now. This is very, very excited. Immortal, Zealot, Archon hanging out. Roach Ravager trying to come forward. Zealot, Immortal, Archon trying to pull back. Holy crap, Adept's going in for the natural, but Reynor's ready for it. You don't want to go in there. The Lings get the surround and shut that down. Meanwhile, the army on the front, Reynor trying to hang on right now. There's a massive force here. Disruptor shot on the right side. Gets itself a few Roaches and Ravagers, but it gets caught on the outside. The Disruptor does go down. Nice saves on the Archons, but the Immortals are getting jumped on. Nice juggling for MaxPax, but he's losing a lot of these valuable units. A decisive dive here for Reynor, and oh my god, MaxPax saw he was going to get corrosive barred. He knew his army was wiped. And he leaves instantly. He's like, no, get out of here before the Prism dies. Of course, we get the death animation in the replay right there of the Prism getting blown up by the Biles and all of those units getting blown up. Looks like he killed his own Overseer as well, but all the units getting cancelled. The whole army's gone. Let's watch that last fight one more time. I mean, he was so far behind, and committing on creep was definitely not the right play because Reynor wasn't being greedy. I think in MaxPax's mind, it's Reynor. He's on 4 base. He's probably on 75 drones. There's no way we're recovering in the long game. We've got to go now. Of course, we knew that Reynor's economy wasn't that big. Reynor was on a giant army, but there's no way for MaxPax to know. He just had such limited scouting information in that game. Reynor did such a good job, and you can see it in the trading. When Zerg outtrades Protoss by 3,300 resources, that's going to be a decisive victory. Beautiful moves. Honestly, it almost felt like Reynor was more dominating than the 3-2 finish he got here. But MaxPax with a slick comeback in that last game as well. What a fantastic series. Can't wait to see what Reynor's got in store for us back in the World Championship this next week. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.